In Standard 7, first chapter, The Living World, Adaptations and Classification. In this chapter, there is some part based on the evolution. Darwin's theory of evolution. Charles Darwin, a biologist, he stated two theories: survival of the fittest and the natural selection. What he said? He studied the numerous types of the plants and the animals and suggested that only those organisms are likely to survive which can best adapt themselves to a changing environment. This is called the theory of survival of the fittest. This is the Darwin's first principle. Another one is a natural selection. If an organism is born with a new beneficial characteristic and is able to survive, this change is preserved in next generation. This is the Darwin's second principle and is called the theory of natural selection. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution states that evolution happens by natural selection. Individuals in a species show variation in physical characteristics. Individuals with characteristics best suited to their environment are more likely to survive, finding food, avoiding predators, and resisting diseases. डार्विनचा उत्क्रांतीवादाचा सिद्धांत चार्ल्स डार्विन यांनी मांडला. त्यांनी वनस्पती आणि प्राणींचा अभ्यास केला. त्यांनी सुचवले की सजीव हे टिकू शकतात जे बदलत्या वातावरणाशी जुळवून घेतील. त्याला त्यांनी अस्तित्वाचा सिद्धांत असं नाव दिलं. आणि जर एखादा सजीव नवीन फायदेशीर वैशिष्ट्यासह जन्माला आला आणि जगण्यासाठी सक्षम असेल तर हा बदल पुढच्या पिढीमध्ये जतन केला जाईल. हे डार्विनचे दुसरे तत्व आहे. त्याला नैसर्गिक निवड सिद्धांत असं म्हणतात. Now, classification of living organism. Why are the living things are classified? Living organisms are classified into the various type of groups. It is a need to scientists to study of their characteristics. It is very important for next generation. It is difficult to study and remember all the organisms in this diverse living world at the same time. Hence, classification helps in this respect. In our world, various diversity in animals and plants. Due to that, the scientists have to study the characteristics of all types of the plants on earth, all types of the animal on earth. So it is a need that they are classified in a proper way. In our kitchen, there is some classification of utensils that we are use. We are kept all utensils on shelf. Why we keep on shelf? Because when we have the need of that utensil, then we have to find out easily. So classification also importance. Means there are the classification of simple characteristics like flowering and non-flowering plants. In animal, vertebra and non-vertebral animals. Like this, simple characters are taken, and due to that we have to classify it in a proper way. But after that, there is some type of the classification have made by the scientists. Different scientists have used different criteria and independently classified plants and animals. There are the various scientists have studied and they find the various classification of the plants and animals. A hierarchy is a form in the classification that starts with the kingdom Animalia or the kingdom Plantae. The further group and the subgroups are formed depending upon the basic similarities and differences. This is called the hierarchy of the classification. All living organisms are classified into groups based on a very basic shared characteristics. The classification of living things includes 7 levels: a kingdom, a phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Now we read the hierarchy. Means there is a kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. There is an example of the mango and the human. How it is classified in the all type of the animals and the plants. There are the 2 examples are given. Mind note, the mango, the kingdom is a Plantae. Means it is a main group. Hierarchy means the types of the group and the subgroups. Plantae is a plant section. Animalia means the animal section. It is another group. The phylum Anthophilia is a subgroup of the kingdom. Animalia, in Animalia there is a chordata, the subgroup that's called as a phylum, and the phylum subgroup is a class, means Dicotyledone and Mammalia. In mango we say the dicotyledone, means the having the 2 section of the seeds, and Mammalia, it is another type of the human, means it is a class. Another subgroup is order. Sapinidales is a mango order, and human, the primates. The family Anacardiaceae, and in human it is a family Hominidae. The genus, the mango is a Mangifera, and in human the genus is Homo. The species, that is the mango is a species Indica, and human Sapiens. मुलांनो, या संपूर्ण बाबतीत वनस्पतीचं वर्गीकरण करताना एक विशिष्ट असा पदानुक्रम दिलेला आहे. त्या पदानुक्रमामध्ये त्यांनी काही वर्गीकरण केलेलं आहे. किंगडम, फायलम, क्लास, ऑर्डर, फॅमिली, जीन्स, स्पेसिस. आपण वेगवेगळ्या जाती धर्माचा जसं शब्द बोलतो तशा प्रकारचा त्यांनी तिथे विचार हा मांडलेला आपल्याला दिसून येतो. तर खास करून त्यांचे वर्गीकरण करताना हा विचार त्यांनी शास्त्रज्ञांनी मांडलेला दिसतो. एक श्रेणीबद्ध स्थापना केली. मूलभूत समानता आणि फरक यावर ते अवलंबून आहे. त्याचे गट आणि उपगट तयार केले आणि यालाच वर्गीकरणाचा श्रेणीक्रम असं म्हणतात. श्रेणीक्रम त्याच्यामध्ये त्याचा निकष म्हणजे खास करून आपण लावत असतो जीनस, काही वनस्पतीचा आणि प्राण्यांचा कशा पद्धतीने त्याचं वर्गीकरण होत येत असतं. हा एक स्वतंत्र असे गट आहेत. प्लांटीमध्ये अनेक प्लांट्स आहेत, ॲनिमिलियामध्ये अनेक ॲनिमल्स आहेत. मग त्याच्यामध्ये क्रॉर्डाटा, त्यानंतर त्याच्यामध्ये आणखी काही विभाग आहेत, क्लास, ते मॅमेलिया, त्यानंतर त्याचे प्रिमेट्स, त्याचे ऑर्डर, त्याचं एक वर्गीकरण केलेलं आहे जसं आपल्या क्लासमध्ये वर्ग असतात तशा पद्धतीचे. त्यानंतर त्याचा सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचा त्याचा जीन्स जे आहे तो म्हणजे होमो. आणि स्पेसीज आपण ज्याला आपण जात असं म्हणत असतो तो सेपियन्समध्ये येत असतो. म्हणजे आजचा जो मानव आहे तो होमी सेपियन्स या वर्गवारीत तो मोडला जातो. आणि त्याचा बघा वनस्पती मँगोमध्ये सुद्धा त्याचं जे सायंटिफिक नाव आहे ते मँगीफेरा इंडिका हे नाव आहे. Now we learn about the binomial nomenclature by Carl Linnaeus. Carl Linnaeus is the scientist who discovered the binomial nomenclature of the plants and the animals. Binomial nomenclature is used to identify each organism. Accordingly, a scientific name has been assigned to each organism. It consists of the two parts. The first part is a genus and the second is a species. Means in the previous example we learned that the genus Mangifera and species Indica means the name of the mango. This is the find out by the Carl Linnaeus. In human we are identified, means we are the humans are identified by genus Homo and the species Sapiens. All identified organisms have been assigned a binomial name as per the guidelines of the International Code of the Nomenclature. This is the International Code of the Nomenclature. Means this rule or the guidelines of the nomenclature is used by the all scientists in the world. Due to that we can identify the name, because in every country or in every types of the states there are the different languages, means Tamilian, Marathi, Bengali, they can talk in their language, but there is some type of the nomenclature method that is the code of nomenclature, and we use in all world, and this is the main nomenclature made by the Carl Linnaeus. In our name system we use the 2 or 3 names, means South Indians are used the 2 names, Maharashtrian use the 3 names. His first name, middle name is of his father's name, and the last name is it's his surname. This is the nomenclature system by the Maharashtra. Like this, nomenclature of the all plants and animals are useful. In this example, the living things, that is the following some examples of the organism from the kingdom Plantae and animal, classified by the binomial method of the nomenclature. Dog, the Canis lupus familiaris. Cow, Bos taurus. Hibiscus rosa senensis. Jowar, Sorghum bicolor. This is the scientific name of that living things. There is a various living things, dog, cow, Hibiscus is the flower which we use. Jowar is the plant having the name sorghum bicolor. Like this, all organisms of the species are so similar that irrespective of differences in color, height, habitats, and habits, they can reproduce among themselves and form a new individuals like themselves. For example, all domestic cats in the world belongs to the same species. The same is true in case of the animals like hen, cow, dog, etc. And plants like mango, wheat, maize, jowar, hibiscus are the same in all world. Find out the different scientists' name in other animals and the plants in your surroundings and discuss and write in your notebook. 29th April is observed as World Frog Protection Day. The killing or the harming frogs is prohibited by the Wildlife Protection Act. It is an important part of the food chain. So, don't killing and harming the frog. Students, now write the exercise of the chapter